My name is Bear Grylls. I've served with the British Special Forces, I've climbed to the summit of Everest and crossed the frozen oceans of the Arctic. Now, I'm parachuting into the Sierra Nevada mountains. 5 million rafters, hikers and climbers come here every year, and each year, 200 end up in serious trouble. I'm going to show you the skills you need to survive. I'm flying over the vast Sierra mountain range in California. 400 miles of towering peaks, deep forests, and scorching lowlands. I'm about to put myself into the position of someone stranded out there.
I'm going to show you how to survive the hard way, on your own and with no equipment.
All I'm taking with me is a water bottle, a cup, and a flint for making fire. A camera crew will follow me throughout my journey. To get down there, I'm parachuting into the high mountains. But landing at such high altitudes means the air is thin, so I'll fall much faster than normal. And to reduce my risk of injury, I'm gonna try and land in water.
I can see some high alpine lakes down there, and that's what I'm aiming for. That's what I'm aiming for. It's going to be pretty tight getting in between these mountains. And there's a lot of turbulence. Whoa!
I've landed in one of these small lakes. The water is cold, just a few degrees above freezing.
At this height, that was one of the fastest landings I've ever had. And I know the danger of doing these water jumps, and it's only the second one I've ever done.
To land on the mountain faces risks serious injury, but landing in water has given me a different problem.
At this height, in wet clothes, there's a real risk of hypothermia, so I've got to just get these dry as quick as I can. As soon as I've got all this off and got dry, I need to be heading down.
But which is the best way down? The slopes of the mountain face east and west. I must choose one direction. I don't want to go east. That will take me into the heat of the Nevada desert. So I'm heading west.
And while the sun's drying all this stuff out, it's a good chance just to try and get my bearings a bit out here. And on a nice day with the sun shining like this, a really easy way of finding north, south, east and west is just using shadow stick method, and all I need for this is any bit of this will do. All I do is jam this into the ground, and this casts a nice shadow there, and just mark it where the end of the shadow is. Then just leave it 15 minutes, and while my clothes are drying, I let that shadow slowly move, and then I'll mark the next point, and this will give me an east-west line then. It's a really simple way of just working out your direction.
I only have 6 hours of daylight left, and a night at this altitude can kill. It's time to get moving. But first, to collect some water. The water here looks crystal clear, but that doesn't mean it's pure. The water's stagnant, ideal growing conditions for harmful bacteria.
One of my oldest buddies from the army, I remember, drank from a lake just like this, and he ended up with really bad diarrhea and vomiting for about a week, and I don't want to risk that, so I'm going to fill my water bottle, but I'm not going to drink from it until I get a chance to boil it later on.
By now, my makeshift sundial should have told me which way to go.
I can just see how this shadow now has moved round, and this was the original marker. So, find another stone. That's where I ended up now in about 20 minutes. So that is a pretty reliable but rough east-west line. That's west, Nevada desert to the east. I don't want to go that way. West I'm going.
First, I want to find which part of this mountain is easiest to descend. The warm rays of the sun have made the snow unstable. If you have to cross a face like this, it's important to be sure of each foothold you make in the snow. It's slippery, but I have to keep moving down this mountain as quickly as possible. At least I spot the chance of getting water.
A lot of the rock around here is this granite, and what you get in this granite are these like dents and these depressions. And at this time of year, when there are lots of thunderstorms, they collect this rainwater. And I just, I really need to have something to drink up here. I'm thirsty. I've also got a little bit of a headache, and that's probably a sign of a bit of altitude sickness. I'm up at about probably about 10,000 feet here. So it's no surprise, but I do need to drink. And this stuff should be okay. What I want to watch out for, though, are things like animal crap in here. Look, this sort of thing can often lead to giardia, and the last thing I need is any diarrhea. But this stuff is looking quite clean and should be okay.
It seems barren up here, but it's astonishing what you can find in these mountains.
It's so easy just to walk over these rocks and, not notice that actually a lot of them can be really useful. Here we go, look, this stuff, this is what's called fool's gold. It's actually pyrite. And a lot of the gold rush of the late 1800s took place around here. And people would often mistake this stuff for gold, but it's not. There was no use for them at all. But for me, this could be really useful later on. Here we go. This is, look at that, black and sparkly and looks like glass, and that means it's obsidian. And this stuff is actually traded a lot by American Indians just to make tools out of, and it's also what they'd make their arrowheads. It's unbelievably sharp. It's still used today, and actually the sharpest blades and scalpels of the world are made out of this stuff. And I'm going to keep hold of this. It's going to be useful for me for cutting.
I think I'm making good progress, but that's until I come face to face with this enormous cliff. It's a 350-foot drop to the bottom. To walk around could take hours, time that I don't have.
Really, the safe thing to do would be to try and find another route around, but I'm pretty worried also about these clouds that are building now, and these are thunderstorm clouds, and you're much more vulnerable and exposed to storms and lightning when you're higher up in the mountains, and I really need to be heading down fast.
I'm gonna have to down climb, and without ropes or any rock climbing aids. There's only one way to do it.
And the key with coming down this sort of rock is always keeping friction on the rock through your feet and through both your hands if you can. And you don't want to be sliding, you just want to be shuffling carefully down it. When it gets steep, you want to turn over onto your stomach. See how crumbly a lot of this, the edges of this gets, and the real danger is when you get sand and gravel on the top, it becomes so slippery. And also water. Water on this granite turns it into like slick rock. And